New Year. Old you? Sounds familiar, doesn't it? The clock strikes midnight, fireworks explode, and for a brief moment, it feels like everything has changed. But come morning, it's the same old routines, same struggles, and the same you. Why? Because flipping the calendar doesn't flip your life. That's what the philosophy of the East has been telling us for thousands of years, and it holds the key to breaking free from these cycles. Today, we're diving into ancient teachings that challenge how you see New Year's resolutions, purpose, and change. This isn't about superficial fixes. It's about deep transformation and starting the year in harmony with the life you're meant to live. Before we begin, if you're ready to step off the wheel and reclaim your path, hit that like button and subscribe, because the wisdom ahead will change the way you see not just this year, but every year to come. Lesson 1. The Wheel of Samsara and the New Year's Cycle. Imagine this, you're celebrating New Year's Eve, raising your glass, fireworks lighting up the night sky. It's a new year, a fresh start, right? Or is it? Because let's be honest, how often does the new year feel? Well, not so new. Here's the truth most people miss. Our lives are like a wheel, spinning endlessly in cycles. That's samsara, the idea that we're stuck in these patterns until we break free. And guess what? New Year's Eve is just another turn on the wheel, unless you make it something different. Think about it. How many resolutions have you made, only to abandon them by February? It's not because you're lazy or unmotivated. It's because you're trapped in habits of thought, habits of action. Breaking out of this cycle isn't about wishing for a better year. It's about choosing to step off the wheel. Here's where it gets practical. Start small. Pick one thing that keeps you spinning in circles. Maybe it's procrastination, unhealthy relationships, or chasing things that don't truly matter. Now choose one action to change that. For example, if procrastination is your trap, commit to starting tasks for just 10 minutes a day. That's it. 10 minutes. It's simple, but it's enough to disrupt the cycle. And here's the kicker. Every action plants a seed for the next cycle. So, what seeds are you planting? If you don't like the harvest, it's time to change the planting. The beauty of New Year's Eve isn't the fireworks or the countdown. It's the opportunity to reflect and redefine the trajectory of your life. But of course, recognizing the cycle is just step one. The question is, how do you realign your actions with something meaningful? Let's talk about that next. Lesson 2. Dharma and Purpose-Driven Resolutions. Every year, people rush to make resolutions. This year, I'll exercise more, eat healthier, get organized. Sound familiar? But here's the problem. These goals often fall apart because they're not connected to something deeper, your purpose, your dharma. And that's the secret most people overlook. True transformation starts when your resolutions align with who you are at your core. So, what is dharma? It's your unique path, the role you're meant to play in the grand tapestry of life. And here's the kicker. It's not about chasing someone else's idea of success. It's about you. For example, if your heart is in creativity, forcing yourself into a corporate mold will only drain you. But when you align with your natural talents and values, progress becomes almost effortless. Now let's get practical. Think of your resolutions not as goals, but as commitments to living your dharma. Ask yourself, what makes me come alive? What values do I stand for? Start by writing down 3 things that genuinely matter to you. Maybe it's family, learning, or helping others. Then set one resolution for each value. For example, if family is your priority, resolve to have a weekly dinner with your loved ones. Here's another tip. Don't confuse activity with alignment. You can be busy and still feel lost. It's not about doing more. It's about doing what matters. That's the power of resolutions rooted in purpose. They don't feel like chores. They feel like steps toward a life that's truly yours. And once you start walking in alignment with your dharma, something magical happens. life starts to flow. But how do you handle the inevitable changes that come your way? Stay tuned, that's exactly what we're exploring next. Lesson 3. Buddhist Impermanence, Embracing Transitions. Change, it's the one thing you can count on, and yet it's what most people resist the hardest. The job you thought you'd have forever? Gone. That relationship you thought was unshakable? Ended. But here's the truth, nothing in life is permanent. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner you can find peace. Buddhism teaches us that impermanence isn't a flaw in life, it's the very essence of it. Think about it. Seasons change, rivers flow, even mountains erode over time. So why do we cling so tightly to things, as if they'll last forever? The answer is fear. We fear losing what we love, so we hold on. But in doing so, we create our own suffering. Here's an exercise to try. Take a moment to reflect on something you've lost in the past year. Maybe it was a job, a friendship, or even just a sense of stability. Now ask yourself, what did that loss teach you? Perhaps it forced you to grow, adapt, or find strength you didn't know you had. That's the gift of impermanence. It clears space for new beginnings. And here's the practical takeaway. Embrace change as a teacher. For instance, if you're going through a breakup, instead of wallowing in regret, take this time to focus on yourself. Pick up a hobby you've been neglecting, reconnect with friends, or dive into a book like The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. It's all about letting go. The beauty of impermanence is that it reminds us to cherish the present. After all, nothing lasts forever, not the good times, but not the bad ones either. So, how can we move forward without forcing life to fit our expectations? That's where the concept of Wu Wei comes in, and trust me, it's a game changer. Lesson 4. Wu Wei, flowing naturally into the new year. Let's talk about flow, real, effortless flow. You know those moments when everything just seems to click? That's the essence of Wu Wei, the Taoist principle of doing without forcing. It's not about being passive or lazy. It's about aligning with the natural rhythms of life. And here's the kicker. The harder you push, the more resistance you create. Think about it. Have you ever struggled to solve a problem, only to have the solution pop into your head the moment you stopped obsessing over it? That's Wu Wei in action. It's like swimming with the current instead of against it. You get farther with less effort. So, how can you bring this into your new year? Start by rethinking your approach to goals. Instead of rigid resolutions like, I must lose 20 pounds by March, focus on creating conditions that naturally lead to success. For instance, instead of forcing yourself into a grueling gym routine, experiment with activities you actually enjoy, like dancing, hiking, or yoga. When you enjoy the process, progress comes naturally. Here's another example. Imagine you're stuck in a dead-end job. Instead of stressing about finding the perfect career overnight, take small, inspired steps. Update your resume, attend a networking event, or start a side hustle. Follow the opportunities that feel right, and let the path reveal itself. Wu Wei isn't about giving up control. It's about trusting that life will unfold as it should when you stop trying to micromanage it. And the beauty of this mindset is that it frees you from unnecessary stress. But how do you ensure the actions you take today will lead to a brighter tomorrow? That's where karma steps in, and it's a principle that's hard to ignore. Lesson 5. Karma, planting the seeds of the future. You've heard it before, what goes around comes around. But karma isn't just about cosmic payback. It's about the simple truth that your actions shape your reality. Every choice you make, big or small, is like planting a seed. So here's the question, what kind of garden are you growing? Think about this in practical terms. If you consistently show kindness, smiling at a stranger, helping a coworker, or calling a loved one just to check in, those seeds grow into stronger relationships, and a more positive outlook on life. On the flip side, if your actions are driven by anger or greed, you're planting seeds of discontent. And guess what? That's exactly what you'll harvest. Now, let's bring this into your new year. Picture the future you want. Better health, stronger connections, more peace. What actions today will nurture that future? For example, if financial stability is your goal, maybe it's time to start budgeting or investing, even if it's just a small amount. Try resources like The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel to guide your steps. Here's another tip: don't underestimate the power of daily habits. They might seem insignificant, but over time, they compound into life-changing results. Want better mental health? Start with 5 minutes of meditation each morning. Looking to improve your career? Commit to reading one chapter of a professional development book each week. And remember, karma isn't about perfection. It's about intention. You don't have to plant an entire forest overnight. Just start with one seed, one action, and trust that with care and consistency, it will grow. But planting seeds also means clearing the weeds. And that's where aparigraha, the art of letting go, becomes essential. Lesson 6. Aparigraha and simplicity for the new year. Ever feel like you're drowning in stuff, physical clutter, emotional baggage, or even too many commitments? That's where aparigraha, the principle of non-attachment, steps in. It's a gentle reminder that the more you hold on to, the heavier life becomes. And here's the truth: letting go doesn't mean losing. It means making space for what truly matters. Take a look around your home. How many things do you own that you never use? Clothes that haven't seen daylight in years, gadgets collecting dust, or even apps on your phone you can't remember downloading. Start with a simple exercise. Choose one area, your closet, your desk, or even just your email inbox, and declutter it. Donate what you don't need, delete what doesn't serve you. You'll be amazed at how much lighter you feel. But aparigraha isn't just about material things. It's about releasing unhealthy relationships, toxic habits, and unrealistic expectations. For instance, if you've been holding on to a grudge, consider what it's costing you: peace, energy, maybe even sleep. Let it go. Write a letter to that person, even if you never send it, or simply remind yourself that forgiveness is more about freeing yourself than excusing someone else. Here's another perspective. When you let go of the unnecessary, you create room for what's essential. Want more time for self-care or pursuing a passion? Let go of overcommitting to things that don't align with your values. For example, instead of saying yes to every social invitation, prioritize activities that genuinely bring you joy. The beauty of simplicity is that it reconnects you with what's real. When you stop clinging, life flows more easily. And with that fresh clarity, you're ready to embrace the next principle: seeing the world with the curiosity and openness of a beginner's mind. Lesson 7. Shoshin, the beginner's mind for a new cycle. You've probably heard the phrase, "You can't teach an old dog new tricks." Well, Shoshin, the beginner's mind, says otherwise. It's about approaching life with curiosity, openness, and the willingness to learn, no matter how much you think you already know. And here's the kicker: the moment you think you've mastered something is the moment you stop growing. Think about kids. They ask why 100 times a day. Annoying? Maybe. But it's that relentless curiosity that helps them learn so fast. What if you brought that same curiosity into your own life? Instead of saying, "I already know how this works," try asking, "What else can I discover here?" Whether it's your career, relationships, or even a hobby, there's always more to learn. For example, let's say you've been cooking the same 3 meals for years. Sure, they're your comfort zone, but what if you explored a new cuisine? Take a cooking class, watch a YouTube tutorial, or pick up a book like Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat by Samin Nosrat. You might not just improve your cooking, you might rediscover the joy of creating. This mindset isn't just for hobbies. It's for everything. Stuck in a job you've been doing for years? Approach it like it's your first day. Ask questions. Seek feedback. You might uncover opportunities you've been overlooking. And here's the best part. When you embrace a beginner's mind, failure stops being scary. It becomes just another step in the learning process. So as you step into this new year, ask yourself, what if I treated every challenge, every experience like it was brand new? What could I learn? Where could it take me? And as you explore with fresh eyes, don't forget to reflect on the past year with gratitude. It's the bridge to what comes next. Lesson 8. Gratitude and reflection on the past. Let's face it, most people rush into the new year without looking back, like they're trying to outrun the past. But here's the thing, your past is your greatest teacher. Reflection isn't about dwelling on mistakes. It's about learning from them. And gratitude, that's the magic ingredient that turns lessons into fuel for the future. Start with a simple exercise. Grab a notebook and list 3 wins from the past year. It doesn't matter if they're big or small. Maybe you landed a new job, reconnected with an old friend, or simply kept going through tough times. Whatever they are, celebrate them. Gratitude has a way of shifting your perspective, reminding you that even in challenges, there's something to appreciate. Now, let's talk about the harder part, your setbacks. Don't run from them. Instead, ask yourself, what did I learn? For instance, maybe a failed project taught you the importance of time management, or a tough breakup showed you what you truly value in a relationship. When you see failures as lessons, they lose their sting. Here's another tip, share your reflections with someone close to you. It's amazing how much clarity you can gain just by saying things out loud. Plus, you might inspire them to do the same. Reflection isn't just a solo act, it's a way to connect and grow together. And remember, gratitude isn't just about the past. It's about setting the tone for the future. When you start a new chapter with appreciation, you carry a sense of abundance into whatever comes next. Speaking of new chapters, let's explore how you can create a fresh start with rituals of renewal inspired by Eastern traditions. Lesson 9. Renewal rituals inspired by the East. New beginnings deserve more than just a toast at midnight. In Eastern traditions, renewal is about more than resolutions. It's about rituals that align your mind, body, and spirit. These aren't grand gestures. They're intentional acts that symbolize letting go of the old and welcoming the new. And trust me, they work. One simple yet powerful ritual is cleaning your space. In many cultures, like in Japan, clearing physical clutter is seen as clearing mental clutter. It's not just about tidying up, it's about creating an environment that reflects the life you want to live. So take an hour to clean out a drawer, organize your workspace, or rearrange your room. You'll feel the difference immediately. Another ritual to try is journaling. Light a candle, sit quietly, and write down what you're releasing from the past year. Regrets, fears, anything holding you back. Then write what you're welcoming into your life, peace, growth, or even specific goals. Want to take it up a notch? Burn the paper with your past year's burdens. It's symbolic, sure, but it's also surprisingly freeing. Meditation is another cornerstone of renewal. Start with just 5 minutes a day. Use apps like Headspace or Insight Timer, or simply sit in silence, focusing on your breath. If you're unsure how to start, try a guided meditation that centers on letting go and setting intentions. And let's not forget the power of symbolic gestures. In Hindu traditions, lighting a lamp symbolizes removing darkness from your life. Why not adopt this practice? Light a candle or an oil lamp, and as you do, visualize yourself stepping into a brighter, more purposeful year. These rituals don't just mark a transition, they anchor it. They're reminders that renewal isn't something that just happens, it's something you create. And as you embrace these practices, you'll find yourself more in tune with the flow of life. A perfect segue to trusting the process and connecting with a universal rhythm. Lesson 10. Connecting to the universal flow. Trust the process. Here's a hard truth. Control is an illusion. No matter how carefully you plan, life has its own rhythm, and fighting against it only leads to frustration. Eastern philosophies teach us to trust the process, to let go of the need to control every outcome, and instead align with the universal flow. And let's be honest, doesn't that sound a lot less stressful? Think of it like this. Have you ever tried to force a puzzle piece where it doesn't fit? No matter how hard you push, it won't work. But when you step back and let the bigger picture guide you, suddenly the piece finds its place effortlessly. That's life. The universe isn't against you. It's just waiting for you to flow with it. So, how do you actually trust the process? Start with small steps. Next time you're faced with a challenge, instead of panicking or forcing a solution, take a moment to pause. Ask yourself, what's the next right step I can take? Focus on what you can control, your actions, your mindset, and let go of the rest. For example, if you're struggling in your career, maybe it's not about landing your dream job tomorrow. Maybe it's about improving your skills today. Another practice is mindfulness. When you stay present, you stop worrying about what might go wrong or obsessing over outcomes. Try this. During your morning coffee or tea, take a moment to truly savor it. Feel the warmth of the cup, notice the aroma, and take a deep breath. It's a small act, but it anchors you in the now. And remember, trusting the process doesn't mean being passive. It means taking inspired actions while letting the universe handle the details. Think of it like planting seeds. You water them, nurture them, but you don't dig them up every day to check if they're growing. You trust that in time they will. As you step into this new year, let go of the need to control everything. Embrace the idea that life is unfolding exactly as it should, even if you can't see it yet. And with that mindset, you're ready to create a year that's not just different, but transformative. So now you know the key to transforming your new year isn't about chasing superficial resolutions. It's about breaking cycles, aligning with your purpose, and trusting the flow of life. But here's the big question. What will you do with this knowledge? Will you keep spinning on the wheel? Or will you step off and start living intentionally? Take a moment to reflect. Which of these lessons resonated with you the most? What's one action you can take today to make this year truly different? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your plans for growth. And remember, you don't have to do this alone. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so we can continue this journey together. There's so much more wisdom waiting for you. Oh, and before you go, let me make this easier for you. If you want to dive deeper into these concepts, grab the Dhammapada. It's packed with insights that can guide your transformation. It's super affordable on Amazon, and you'll find the link in the first comment pin below. Thanks for watching, and don't stop here. Click the card on your screen to learn even more. Your journey to a better year starts now.